What does the phrase, "I want my MTV," make you think of? Maybe it's neon graphics, guitar riffs, and VJs who somehow felt like your best friends. Maybe it's Madonna rolling on stage in a wedding dress, or Nirvana igniting the 90s grunge movement with Smells Like Teen Spirit's debut. Or maybe it's the moment Beyoncé revealed her baby bump live on air at the VMAs. It could even be ridiculous, endless reruns of ridiculousness.
Sterling, when you went skydiving, did you think if the parachute didn't open that you could survive?
You don't think about that. The parachute don't open, it's too late.
No.
It's over.
Just for next time, you squirrel out, right?
Okay.
Then you look for like a hill.
Okay.
And you use your arms as flaps, and you try to slide into that hill.
Regardless of what you just thought of, it goes without saying that MTV was once the heartbeat of youth culture. It was the station that told the world what was hot, what was rebellious, and what it meant to be cool. But now, the channel that changed music, television, and marketing forever is quietly disappearing. Paramount Global just announced that several MTV channels will shut down by the end of 2025, including MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, and MTV Live. While MTV will still exist in North America, the fate of the remaining channels remains unknown. 40 years after its birth, the brand that turned rebellion into revenue is fading out like static on an old tube TV. So what happened? Hey friends, I'm Ana The Marketeer, your friendly neighborhood marketeer baddie. I break down the marketing and branding of celebrities, campaigns, and creators so we can both learn together and you can learn how to use these tips and tricks from the greats for your own personal brand. And today we're going to look at how the brand that invented cool, MTV, became background noise by 40 years after its inception. And also, I'm going to dive into what you, as a solopreneur, creator, or brand builder, can learn from the rise, reign, and fall of MTV. But first, I know most of you watching are not subscribed to my channel. If you've been liking my videos, please hit subscribe right now to support the channel and get weekly breakdowns just like this. Your girl is trying to reach 20K. Every click counts. And if you join my newsletter, Marketeer's Memo, you'll get a free download of my authentic branding checklist with immediate tips to elevate your current branding while staying yourself. Link is in the description below. Also, you can listen to these episodes on Spotify. The link is also in the description. Now, let's break it down. The beginning of MTV. Let's rewind to August 1st, 1981 at 12:01 a.m. A rocket launch appears on the screen, and after the clock down ends and liftoff is achieved, a distorted voice says, "Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll." Then VJs Alan Hunter, Martha Quinn, JJ Jackson, Nina Blackwood, and Mark Goodman appeared, one by one, to announce to viewers that they would never see music the same way again, as they experienced the world's first 24-hour music video channel. This was an epic and historical moment in the history of music and television. Immediately following the introductions, Video Killed the Radio Star became the first ever video to air on MTV, really solidifying their brand position right away at launch. And in a way, we can argue that the prophecy came true. MTV killed the radio star, the album cover, and the old school definition of music. Before MTV, artists were heard. After MTV, artists had to be seen, amplifying the need for a visual experience that could go hand in hand with their music. MTV merged sound, image, and style into one irresistible package. Rather than building playlists, it built a one-of-a-kind brand. And from day one, MTV's identity felt like a carefully crafted cocktail containing attitude, art, and angst. It was loud, chaotic, color-saturated, and most of all, deeply human, catering to teens, young adults, and other music enthusiasts. Every transition was quick, every logo animation unpredictable. If you blinked, you missed something, and that was the point. Punk over polished. In an age where MTV executives wore suits, MTV felt like a teenager hijacked the signal and ran the show, and that became its superpower. We could argue that MTV's emergence echoed a sentiment along the lines of, "We're not here to sell you music, we're here to sell you yourself." And this is because MTV didn't just mirror youth culture, it made youth culture. And from that, we can take our first brand lesson. Don't sell the product or service. Sell the feeling of belonging to a movement. MTV sold rebellion, freedom, and identity, and that made it irresistible. Signature differentiator. MTV's biggest differentiator was its tone. They were the first network that refused to talk at young people. They talked like them and were there 24 hours a day for them. To dedicated viewers, the VJs weren't anchors. They were friends. They joked, stumbled, and spoke with slang that felt authentic. This informal voice made MTV feel less like a corporation and more like an accessible and intriguing culture. And while traditional TV fought for credibility, MTV went for charisma. Then came the I Want My MTV campaign.
I want my MTV.
Every ad featured icons: Sting, Billy Idol, Cyndi Lauper, literally demanding that fans call their cable company to get MTV. They made their audience fight to consume their product. That's genius-level brand psychology. Having access to MTV felt aspirational. Watching it on your TV while wearing a badge, I belong to what's next. That brings us to brand lesson number 2. Make your audience feel like insiders, not customers. When people feel part of your identity, they don't just watch what you put out, they advocate for you. MTV's brand grammar. Now let's break down MTV's brand grammar. So these are the reoccurring sensory DNA that just made the channel unforgettable. And we're gonna look at 3 very distinct things that made MTV feel like MTV. Number 1 was the logo. The big graffiti M with a spray painted TV. It changed constantly, colors, textures, moods, but never lost its core. Chaos was consistency for MTV. 2, the sound. Heavy bass, electric riffs, fast cuts. It sounded like energy bottled and viewers got hooked. And 3, the voice. Funny, self-aware, irreverent, never stiff or over-polished. MTV turned sarcasm into strategy. Every cue, visual, sonic, verbal, said, "We're not your parents' TV channel." You didn't have to see the logo to know you were watching MTV. You felt it. And that's brand lesson number 3. When your brand feels the same across every sense, it becomes unforgettable. Defining moments that made MTV a brand. MTV staged culture, whereas other networks purely stick to broadcasting culture. That's what set them apart for decades. Here are 5 moments that defined not just MTV, but entire generations. Number 1, Madonna like a virgin at the 1984 VMAs. She was rolling in a wedding dress, lingerie visible. It was shocking, erotic, and iconic. Madonna became the queen of reinvention, and MTV became her throne. This performance is still spoken of and referenced over 40 years later. 2, Yo MTV Raps, which launched in 1988. This was the first global platform for hip-hop, airing on MTV in Asia, Europe, and North America. It introduced millions to rap culture and made MTV a cross-genre tastemaker, inspiring millions of aspiring performers and viewers alike. Number 3, Kurt Cobain, Unplugged in 1993. Raw, intimate, and simply special. MTV proved that authenticity could be louder than production. And thanks to MTV, this concert became accessible and culturally significant to millions for many reasons. Unfortunately, it doubled as a farewell concert for lead singer Kurt Cobain, who passed away the following year. 4, Britney Spears and The Snake at the 2001 VMAs. This was a pop spectacle at its peak. By the 2000s, MTV's VMAs became a baptismal rite for pop legends, and Britney Spears had arguably one of the most memorable performances of all time. Live animals, clear confidence and mastery of her talent, an insane set, Slay Britney, UAA8, all of that. 5, Beyonce's pregnancy reveal in 2011. This was one badass performance, paired with a hand over her belly to subtly and proudly announce her first pregnancy. Obviously, the crowd went nuts, and there was no promo and no script here, just a moment that followed a powerful performance that still had people talking, and at the time made Twitter blow up. And of course, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other incredible music and pop culture moments that captured the essence of MTV. But these are just 5 examples to kind of get you the idea of what I'm talking about here that just drew significant hype and remain relevant today. For over 40 years, MTV remained the place where emotion, talent, and performance met. MTV didn't chase virality, it created it. Expanding the MTV brand. So let's back things up for a hot second. By the late 90s and early 2000s, MTV's reign began to wobble ever so slightly. And this is because cable competition exploded and the internet loomed. And that's when MTV pivoted hard. The Real World in 1992, high-key one of my favorite shows of all time when I was a kid, introduced reality TV before it was even a term. Suddenly, the brand wasn't solely about rock stars. It was about real people. Then came Cribs, Punk'd, Laguna Beach, The Hills, still recovering from that finale of The Hills. Let me just be real about that. And one of my all-time favorite shows of all time, Jersey Shore. The formula shifted from music equals identity to fame equals identity. While there was criticism, audiences still watched. I am audiences. I still watch that. But something subtly changed. MTV stopped curating culture and started monetizing it. It became clear that it was more focused on entertainment instead of expression and edge at this point. Then when YouTube launched in 2005, MTV's monopoly ended. Anyone could upload a video, perform authenticity, and go viral. From there, we got social media in many forms, along with Vine and TikTok. And well, you can see where MTV naturally lost viewers as the decades went on. The platform that once discovered the next star now competed with every bedroom creator. And this brings us to brand lesson number 4. Reinvention must tie back to your original promise. MTV pivoted formats but lost its why. It didn't evolve, and as a result, it drifted. So with that in mind, you might ask, where does MTV's DNA live now? MTV might have lost its throne, but its blueprint is everywhere. TikTok is MTV's chaotic energy reborn. Many creators keep performances and content short, visual, and self-expressive, and indie artists often blow up and achieve fame through TikTok. YouTube is MTV's programming philosophy made infinite. Niche channels for every mood. Hey, I'm here as you're watching me. And access to 24-hour music videos spanning genres and decades. Despite music videos and pop culture moments still existing, the fact that they land in front of global audiences so easily and so often can arguably reduce the feeling of magic and exclusivity that MTV brought, especially in the 80s, 90s, and very early 2000s. Yes, it's all more accessible now, but many millennials and Gen X's tend to yearn for the feeling that the OG MTV broadcasts delivered. When everyone is in on a club, movement, or culture, it suddenly loses its meaning. But at the end of the day, MTV taught us that culture doesn't live in one place. It migrates and reinvents itself on new platforms. And here's a mini takeaway for your own brand. If your brand stands for emotion, not medium, it can survive every platform shift. MTV's legacy. By the mid-2010s, MTV was coasting on nostalgia. The VMAs were still flashy, but the magic had shifted online. The schedule became a carousel of catfish and ridiculousness, which we all love to binge, but nothing new or groundbreaking came out of MTV anymore. And now, the announcement that several MTV channels will shut down internationally by 2026 marks the end of an era. While many believe this is a tragedy, there are some who argue it's a natural transition. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel? Do you think it's a natural transition? Do you think it's the end of an era? Please give your opinion, thoughts below in the comments. Despite this sad news, we have to remember that MTV's cultural children like TikTok and YouTube are thriving. Creators who control their own image, almost replacing those VJs of the past. Platforms that merge art and audience, and brands that treat expression like oxygen. MTV didn't die because people stopped loving music. It died because people stopped needing it as a middleman. I guess we could say that MTV handed the microphone to the crowd, and the crowd never gave it back. Still, its influence is impossible to ignore. MTV showed us the playbook for cultural branding. Be emotional, unpredictable, and allow the audience to participate. Be raw, edgy, loud, and unique. It wasn't just a network. It was a whole movement. And hey, movements never really die. They just change channels. And this brings us to brand lesson number 5. If you build a brand that shapes behavior, your relevance outlives the platform. So let's distill MTV's brand down to its essence. This is what I would say are MTV's core pillars. Number 1, rebellion. Question the rules, march the beat of your own drum, and be unapologetic. Number 2, expression. Celebrate individuality, get loud, take up space, and challenge the norm. And 3, reinvention. Embrace change visually and emotionally and move with it. When it comes to MTV's emotional promise, I like to think of this phrase: we don't just play music, we play you. There, I Want My MTV slogan meant more than just teens want their programming. It meant they wanted to be part of a cultural movement. That line captured the MTV of the 1980s and 90s. When it stopped feeling true, the brand's magic slowly faded. Still, those pillars shaped everything that came after: influencer culture, fandom marketing, and virality. MTV's story is, at its core, all about evolution. Every brand dreamed of becoming timeless. MTV actually was. Brand lessons for the modern marketeer. Here are 5 timeless takeaways you as a creator, entrepreneur, or artist can steal from MTV's rise and fall. Number 1, sell culture, not content. MTV didn't sell airtime, it sold belonging. Audiences turned in to feel seen. So ask yourself, what cultural itch does your brand scratch? Number 2, build a universe, not a logo. MTV's fluid visuals created a living identity. Consistency isn't rigid, it's emotional coherence. When it comes to your brand, keep your tone and energy steady, even as your visuals evolve. Number 3, pivot with purpose. MTV pivoted successfully until it lost its why. Of course, times have changed and media has evolved. Pivots are natural, but every reinvention should serve your core promise, not erase it. Number 4, make moments, not marketing. From Madonna's wedding dress to Britney's groundbreaking 2001 performance, MTV built cultural events. Think of it this way: what's your brand's snake moment? What can only you pull off? And number 5, relevance beats nostalgia. MTV coasted on memory. Your brand probably can't, nor should it. Nostalgia comforts audiences, but innovation keeps them coming back. At the core of it all, MTV was always more than a channel. It acted as a mirror, reflecting who we were, who we wanted to be, and maybe even who we were afraid to become. Even if the music stopped, its echo is everywhere. In TikTok dances, emerging artists all over the globe, YouTube creators, and every viral sound that became an anthem. So whether you're a brand, a business, or a one-person show, remember this: cool isn't created by chasing trends. It's created by daring to define them. MTV did that for 4 decades, and even in decline, it left behind the ultimate marketing lesson: be bold, daring, emotional, and most of all, human. Thank you so much for watching my video today. In the comments below, please drop your favorite MTV memory. I would love to read them, love to see if we're aligned in any of them. I'd share mine. Mine is Britney and NSYNC. When they came out, she was wearing like the school uniform, and then NSYNC performed after, and they had that sick beat that's like do 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 hoo. Like, I rewatched that, I think, at least once a year. One of my favorite MTV moments ever. Alternatively, also share ones that made you cringe. For me, that's Snooki getting punched on Jersey Shore. I watched it live before they blacked out and cut off that part. That was a lot to handle in 2007. If you want more deep dives like this, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you've gotten this far, and of course, join Marketeer's Memo if you'd like content like this in your inbox. And you can also stream these on Spotify. Follow me on TikTok and IG at Ana The Marketeer. And if you're interested in marketing and branding, strategies, audits, deep dives, you can find my email in the description below. Feel free to hit me up. I got you. Until next time, Marketeers, stay innovative, stay iconic, and most importantly, stay you. Do 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 do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.